Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be super short. At least that's the idea, but I want to give you guys some very important information. I'm going to be comparing two different ways that you can get your health care. Since open enrollment is coming up November 1st through December 15th, if you want a January 1st start date for your health insurance plan, that's the deadline to keep in mind. November 1st through December 15th. If you want a February 1st start date, December 16th through January 15th is going to be the window that you need to keep in mind. So anywhere between November 1st and January 15th, that's the open enrollment period. If you miss that window, you're going to need a qualifying event, which we're not going to jump into because that's going to get too in-depth and we're going to take longer than I want to spend on this video. But I do want to cover some things that are really important. Things that you want to look for when you're shopping for your plan, and just show you two different options. One of them is going to be option number one. One of them is going to be option number two. By the end of this video, leave me a comment in the comment section. If you gain value and there's something beneficial after watching this, something new that you learned, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And then just let me know, number one, number two, which option you prefer, right? And like I said, I don't want to keep this video long, so I'm going to keep it under 10 minutes, hopefully. I'm going to just run through all of the basics, which are, what is a deductible? What is the out-of-pocket max? What is a premium? Go over briefly networks and metal tiers, but I'm not going to spend too much time. And then I'm going to go over option number two, which is going to be completely different from what you're used to, which is traditional insurance. And this is what we're going to be looking at right here. In order for you to get insurance, you're going to need to provide a few things in order to see the plans that are even available to you. And then from there, you can see what options you have. First thing you're going to want to do is put in your zip code. As you can see, the zip code is the first thing in there already. We're going to use a family of three, and assuming dad, mom, and a kid. And this is the date of birth for dad, male, spouse, that's the date of birth, female. We have the dependent, their boy, that's his date of birth. Once we put all that information in, we're going to see that we need to also put in the household size, which is 3 in this case, assuming that this household is married, filing jointly, no issues there. And we're using an annual income of $275. Since there's going to be tax credits involved, as you can see here, you may save $343 per month on plan prices. The IRS wants to know, what do you think you're going to make at the end of 2024? And they will look at that when the end of 2024 comes around. So if open enrollment begins in November 1st, like we talked about, you're going to want to think about, what are you going to make in 2025? Because you'll see that this number, or this date, I should say, is going to be 2025. So annually, monthly, weekly, figure it out, put that information in there. It's going to let you know what tax credits or subsidies are going to be able to reduce the cost of your plan on a monthly basis based on all of this information that we have put in here. So once we get all of that, we can save and move on. It's going to give us all the different plans that are available in the zip code so that we can see which one makes sense for this family. As you can see, this is the zip code, 3 in the household and 3 applying for coverage with a household income of $275,000. So Metro Plus Health, this is the recommended and lowest premium plan that you have here for this family at $1,420 a month. You have a deductible of $9,200, a maximum of $18,900. Bronze plan, HMO, right? So, like I said, I want to go briefly on the HMO and bronze plans. HMO is the network type. So you have PPOs, EPOs, POS, HMOs, and all of those just mean that they have different networks, if you will. And when you're talking about different networks, you can go into, how wide the network is, the restrictions as far as, do I need to see a primary care physician before I see a specialist, things of that nature. Different networks have different rules, so you have to be aware of which network and what rules they have to fit your needs. Bronze plans, silver plans, gold plans, platinum plans. That usually refers to what the insurance company is going to pay for once you have paid this deductible out of pocket. So once you've met this deductible, the plan starts to cover some of the costs based on, again, the plan is a bronze, silver, gold. You might get 60, 70, 80, or 90% coverage, just depending on what that plan is. If you have questions on that, feel free to let me know. I'm not going to spend too much time there, but deductible, I think, is even more important for you to understand, because if you don't understand this and you're paying $1,420 out of pocket every single month just to keep this plan active, then you might wonder, why do I still have bills when I go to the doctor and I have to pay out of pocket? It's because you haven't met this deductible. The insurance company will not pay for anything related to your care until you have met the deductible. This plan has a $9,200 combined medical and prescription deductible. This is how much you will pay before your insurance company begins paying. Remember, certain plans, certain preventative services and screenings are free. So there's certain things that you might get for free, but keep in mind, $9,200 out of pocket is your responsibility, including $1,420 a month to keep this plan active. Now, another thing I wanted to make you aware of is the maximum out of pocket, or the max OOP. Your maximum out of pocket is $18,900, which means that in the worst case scenario, you will never pay more than $18,900 in your for your care if you're in network in 2024. So this family, if they got this plan in January, this would be the maximum that they would have to pay. If this plan was gotten in October, this would be the maximum they would have to pay for 2024. Also, the deductible works the same way, so keep that in mind. What else is there? I mean, that's pretty much it. We went through this option pretty fast. You see doctor visits here, $50 per visit for the first 3, and then full price. Full price maybe 75, 100, 120, 200, who knows? Depends on your provider. You want to make sure that your provider, your doctor, your specialist actually accepts Metro Plus Health, the bronze standard plan that's available through the exchange here. So this is, a question that you want to ask your provider, because these plans change so frequently and the doctor's offices change which plans they accept. So you want to make sure that you're in line and everything's good if you want to continue to see your specific doctor. And that pretty much concludes option number 1. You can see exactly what it takes to be able to sign up, and the ease of getting to the plans and understanding the benefits that are available to you. Now, option number 2, right here, you can see a little bit different. All they need, in this case, same scenario, same family, all they need is birthday of the oldest person that's applying. If you remember, January 31st, 76 was dad's date of birth, so we're going to use that, and we're going to say there are 3. Since mom, dad, and son, that's 3. If there was mom, dad, son, daughter, it'd still be the same. No additional cost for that. On option number 1, there would be an additional cost for every single member that gets added to that plan, and the whole situation changes. So keep that in mind as well.
Wow.
Once you have dad's birthday, since he's the oldest in the family, and you have 3, all you do is click get a quote, and right away you get the different options that you're able to sign up for. And in this case, there's just 4 different options from $2,500. As far as the deductible that we were talking about on the other scenario, deductible here $9,200, right? This scenario, different terminology, but the same thing applies. This is primary responsibility, acts like the deductible. So it's basically the amount that you're responsible for, which is what the deductible is, before the insurance company starts to pay. But in this case, before this group starts to share in the bills. So this is a membership situation where 90% is shared by the group and 10% becomes your responsibility once you've met your primary responsibility amount. Those 4 options here, anywhere from 25 to 10,000. Now keep in mind, 10% is your responsibility after any of these options, but your standard rate or your premium monthly, as you can see here, is $14.20 on this side, and on these 4 options that you have, they're nowhere close to that. But what you do see on the other one is there's these restrictions that we talked about, whether it's an HMO network, whether it's a bronze, and things of that nature. You don't worry about that here because these are all 10% and there are no network restrictions. So you can go to any doctor, any facility, any specialist that you want and get the care that you need. So in my opinion, this second option is a lot easier to just navigate. You don't have to worry about any tax credits to help you reduce the cost because they're already reduced to fair market value when you get your bills from the providers, as well as the premiums or the rates that you're paying to be able to be a part of the membership are so much less than what you would pay to be on an insurance plan. So the difference is option 1 and option 2 are different ways for you to get health coverage, health care, right? Now, health insurance, health sharing, 2 different things. However, they provide or should provide the same benefit to the member that's signing up for the program, whether it's the health insurance or health sharing. I think you guys can see the difference. Now, there's questions, I'm sure there's comments or concerns, things that you might want to learn about or find out more details on. I'll be more than happy to share the information. That's the purpose of making this video. There are differences, and let me just be the first one to say, this is not for everybody. And I just want you to know that there are options. And while you're looking at the different options, this could be the option for you. I don't know. But the whole goal is understanding what you're paying for, what you're buying, so that you make, again, the best decision for yourself and for your family. I look forward to hearing the questions that you guys have. If I can help in any way, that's, again, what I'm here for. And have a great day. Look forward to hearing from you soon.